Sewage workers. They crawl through confined, noxious spaces where the air is thick with methane and deadly hydrogen sulfide gas, wading through the concentrated biological waste of entire cities. These workers fix the systems everyone depends on but never sees. They literally are the last line of defense against ancient diseases. Sewage workers prevent city floods, pipe explosions, environmental disasters, and outbreaks while being subject to the risk of infectious pathogens like hepatitis and leptospirosis and the constant threat of cave-ins. One slip and they can suffocate or drown. One broken pipe or bad breath of hydrogen sulfide and they don't come back up. All this bravery just to ensure your toilet flushes safely. Cities stay alive because these unseen warriors keep the rivers from running backward into our homes. It is because of their silent, filthy labor that urban civilization is possible. Pay can be steady if you're unionized in a big city, but for the guys who actually go down the manholes, often contractors or municipal workers, the hourly rate is laughably low for the fact that every shift could be their last. Many make less than a mid-level office worker while breathing poison and handling raw disease for a living. Garbage collectors. While everyone else sleeps, they lift the mountains of trash you never want to see again, breathing dust and rot. They race against the clock, dodging traffic, operating heavy machinery, and enduring every extreme of weather condition. They suffer high rates of muscle injuries and deal with dangerous chemicals, but their most crucial role is in public health. They are the primary barrier preventing neighborhoods from becoming literal disease-ridden dumping grounds. They keep our streets clean, our air breathable, and our cities from breeding epidemics. They get rid of waste that would shut cities down in days. Without them, every street becomes a health hazard. They keep civilization livable. Yet people treat them like background noise instead of the frontline defenders of public health that they truly are. Pay is usually just above minimum wage in most places, sometimes with decent benefits if they're city employees, but for private contractors and the guys riding on the back of the truck in the rain, it's barely enough to cover the medical bills from torn rotator cuffs and crushed fingers they'll collect over the years. Small-time farmers, waking up before sunrise, working through blistering heat, unpredictable weather, volatile markets, middlemen who pay peanuts, pests, and debts just to grow the food everyone eats but no one thinks about. I'm talking about the people keeping food diversity alive, supporting local economies, and putting fresh, high-quality nutrition on your table. One bad season can wipe out their family's livelihood, yet they persist. These farmers carry entire communities on their backs, feeding nations while often living in poverty themselves. Without small-scale farmers, food supply collapses and supermarkets would be empty shelves. They bear the environmental and financial risk to ensure global food security, but most people couldn't even name one in their area. Pay? Most years, there is no pay. After fuel, seed, fertilizer, equipment loans, and the middleman's cut, many small farmers earn less than minimum wage, sometimes negative income, yet they still feed the world while the rest of us complain about avocado prices. Truck drivers. They live out of a cab, spending weeks away from home on the road, consuming endless coffee, eating bad meals, and pushing through extreme fatigue to meet impossible deadlines. One tired second behind the wheel can end lives. There's first, usually. They are often isolated, facing constant pressure from regulations and logistics, even when they hold the world's supply chain in their hands. At least 70% of everything you touch today came on their trailer. The items on every store shelf, your phone, your medicine, your holiday gifts, only exist in your city because they got it there. If truck drivers stop for 72 hours, supermarkets empty, hospitals panic, businesses shut down. They keep economies alive while risking their own lives on every journey. Pay sounds good when people quote the big owner-operator numbers, but for the company drivers and the millions who actually turn the wheels day after day, after fuel, insurance, and waiting unpaid at docks for hours, many clear less than $40 to $50K a year while missing every funeral and birthday back home. Janitors and cleaners. The mess and biohazards that everyone leaves behind, they clean up. They work the late shifts, scrubbing blood, vomit, and germs so the rest of us stay healthy. During outbreaks, they worked while others hid at home. They are exposed to harsh chemicals, are at high risk of illness, work meticulously in hospitals, schools, and offices to break the chain of infection in order to maintain the hygiene and usability of the environment required for productivity and public health. The world runs smoother because cleaners do the work everyone else avoids. You only notice them when something's dirty, never when everything is spotless. Pay is usually minimum wage or just above it, no matter if they're cleaning a school bathroom or disinfecting an ICU ward covered in C. diff. The people who kept society functioning when everything was shutting down often can't afford basic health insurance themselves. Oil rig workers. Personal hats off for these heroes. Imagine working 12 to 16 hours a day, 2 weeks straight, with no weekends, no fresh air, no phone signal. Every corner you look you see only dark blue stormy oceanic waters moving violently like it's about to wreak havoc, sleeping in a tiny bunk while the sea throws the whole platform around like a toy. They stand on steel floors that can hit 60 degrees Celsius 140 degrees Fahrenheit near the engines in summer, or freeze solid in winter. One tiny mistake and people die. Explosions, falls, crushed hands, toxic gas. On average, someone dies on an oil rig somewhere in the world every single week. It is because of these brave individuals your car starts tomorrow morning, factories keep running, hospitals have electricity when the grid fails, planes fly, the plastic in your phone even exists, and much more. They are literally behind everything that moves or works, making the world livable while living unlivable lives. Pay can be decent for skilled roles, but for the entry-level roughnecks who do the backbreaking, filthy, burning hot work, often not nearly enough for what they risk and what they give up. Months away from their kids, birthdays missed, marriages strained.